Hello and welcome to Tabletop Oddity. My name is Jay and today we're going to be looking at basic builds for Star Wars Legion for Luke Skywalker. Now I have already done Darth Vader, who will be appearing there. The rules have come out, everything there still applies, and everything in this, as far as I can tell, still applies. But yeah, let's crack on. We'll go with my basic builds. First and foremost, what we'll do is we'll just run through Luke Skywalker himself. He's 160 points. He's unique, obviously he's a commander. He can take 2 force powers and a gear upgrade. He has 6 health, 3 courage. He's got a blaster, which is his range weapon, 2 red dice, and he's got his lightsaber, which is 6 black dice. Not as good with the lightsaber as Darth Vader, but still pretty decent with it. He's a trooper. His special abilities are he's got jump, so he can pretty much ignore terrain at height 1 or lower. Well, I'm fairly sure he can jump and then jump up. He can keep going in height, and then when you're dropping, you can just go as low as you want. So it's pretty good for falling or getting down. He's got charge, so when you move into combat, you can get a free attack action. It still counts as an attack action. You can't attack twice without his command pips. Deflect, when he uses a dodge, or when he spends a dodge token, he gets surge to he gets a defensive surge block, and he's immune to pierce. Speaking of surges, he's converted his surge to crits on attack, and with deflect, it only does he get that defensive one. But that's Luke Skywalker. Everything has everything for him. So let's have a look at the pips that he can take. Now at the start, you pretty much need to take these because you need to take 7. Once more commanders come out, you actually run him and another commander, you'll get to pick. For now, this is what you got. You got Son of Skywalker. You get to perform an additional attack with Son of Skywalker. Very useful, very powerful at the right moment. That's going to swing a fight. Better doing that in melee, because your melee attack is better than your ranged attack. My ally is the Force. You can do 2 troopers and they gain dodge tokens when you issue them the order. Pretty decent, pretty survivable in that sense. Return of the Jedi. Yeah, when you issue an order, he gains a dodge token, and each friendly trooper at range 1 to 3 may remove 1 suppression token. So if you're getting bogged down with suppression, Return of the Jedi, and it's gone. So all of the upgrades that he can take are laid out thusly. Jedi Mind Trick, range 1 to 2, they get an enemy unit gains, an enemy trooper unit gains 2 suppression tokens. Force Push, but you perform a 1 speed move with that enemy unit, pretty decent. Force Reflex, you gain a dodge token. Not that you take a dodge action, so you can actually take a dodge token and a dodge action, pretty decent. Saber Throw lets you use your melee weapon as a ranged attack. Well, a lightsaber in this case, but it is half your dice, so it is only 3 black. You might as well stick around with 2 red, not really much point there. Battle Meditation lets you issue an order to anywhere on the battlefield, so you're not limited by the one range 0 to 3 aura. Pretty good if you've got units on the flank like an Earthspeeder or such. Grappling Hooks, pretty pointless on Luke if we're honest, because of the jump 1. Probably not going to need that. As for targeting sculpts, we'll discuss that in a minute, but not really much point on the blaster. There's an article that says you can use it on the blaster, but if you've got a name token, you can reroll 2 dice anyway. Being able to reroll 3 when you've already got 2, that makes no sense. Whether or not you can use it in melee, which is a bit mental, but whether or not it's worth it, we'll discuss momentarily. So build 1, this was one of the first builds that I considered. It's 186 points. We've got Jedi Mind Trick on there, Force Reflex and targeting sculpts. So like what are we trying to do with Jedi Mind Trick? Well, we're trying to control a unit one way or another. Now whether we use Force Push or this, the goal is sort of the same. We want to pick a unit and disrupt it. It's range 1 to 2, you get 2 suppression tokens. On a normal like Stormtrooper unit that's away from Vader, that can cause panic, or at least you're very likely to reduce the number of actions that a unit can do. Now if that unit is already on an objective, it's no good there, but it's good if you're trying to disrupt either a unit that's got a lot of attacks. Some, maybe they can't attack, like, a good weapon or something, or you really just don't want them to move somewhere. Like you don't want them to get off the board, like on your side of the board or something. Well, we're going to suppress you and try and limit your movement that way. That dodge token by Force Reflex, that's really good. That's going to increase your survivability. Perfect. So we're looking for this 1 turn impact, because both of these cards get exhausted You can only use it once, and then you're going to need to recover, and that's part of the con. You need to recover to get these force powers back. So we'll look at, it's got that 1 turn impact. It's quite survivable with the dodge. If you're spending 186 points, I'm going to want to keep him alive. It's quite a lot of points, and it utilizes abilities. So the Jedi Mind Trick, your movement 2, and you've got jump 1. You're quite maneuverable, so you can get around the board and get that to where you need it. And Force Reflex is obviously that dodge with the deflect, giving you the ability to wound if you get a surge. So it's basically, I didn't read this properly before, but you spend your dodge token, any surges that you get convert to blocks, but the enemy suffers a wound for any surge that they get. So it's like bouncing it off your lightsaber, basically. Really thematic. I quite like it. The cons, as I said, it needs recover. Once you've exhausted both of those, you need to recover. You're not Darth Vader. You don't get to ready one. You need to recover to get those cards back in use. Flanking without battle meditation, you're probably, anybody on the flanks are going to need comlink. So I mean, that's an issue for quite a lot of builds, but specifically if you don't take battle meditation, that's definitely an issue. And panic immunity, basically. So the Imperials are still affected by suppression in the sense that they can have their actions reduced, but anybody within a range 1 like 0 to 3, 1 to 3 of Vader, pretty much going to be immune to panic, so they're not going to run off the board. Not a huge issue in that sense, but it's just keep in mind that if this was on the other, once Vader's gone, or if you're against Rebels, it's possibly a little bit more useful. As for the targeting scope, so I'll just show you, if we go without targeting scopes, it's pretty much the same build, it's just cheaper. But targeting scopes, if you are rolling 6 black dice, well, we said it's pointless for Blaster. If you're rolling 6 black dice, well, what are the odds that you even need it? If you've got an aim token, are 2 dice enough? Do you really need the 3? Well, the odds are is that, on average, I think it's something like you'll get 3 hits, and then there's a 0.75 of a surge, or something like that. So, in basically most situations, you're going to get 4 desirable results, and you only need to re-roll 2 on average, pretty much. And you actually convert your surges to crits, so pretty decent. The only time I can think this might be useful is if you just blank. If you blank out all your dice, fair enough, that makes sense. Or let's say you've got impact 2, so you can, if you're trying to injure a vehicle and you roll 6 hits and you can only convert 2 of them, well then you've got 4. Yeah, you might want to re-roll 3 to see if you can get a crit or a surge. Maybe. I personally think targeting scopes is a no-go. Computer says no. I personally just wouldn't run it. I would try and keep the builds just to the 2 force powers. I think the gear thing is probably like future-proofing the idea. Maybe in the future we'll get different cards and they'll be more suited to Luke Skywalker. Obviously that's the same build, it's just a bit cheaper. Build number 3 still keeps the Jedi Mind Trick, but we're adding in the battle meditation. Now, so that allows you to give a unit order who's on the flank, so you can control when he's going to go, he or she going to go. The pros to this build, you don't always need to recover because you're only recovering when you use Jedi Mind Trick. You don't really need it to do as much. The problem with that is the recover is then less efficient. It does have better flanking positioning, as I just said, but it also has less ability synergy. So because you're not getting that automatic dodge, you will have to take a dodge as an action. You're a little bit less survivable. You're not getting that synergy quite as much with deflect. I mean, you can still get deflect, as I said, it's not completely ruled out. It's a little bit cheaper, it's 175 points instead of 180. That panic immunity, still an issue, but the suppression is sort of okay. I personally think that it's still a problem to have the panic immunity, but the fact that it doesn't, that it can still disrupt a unit almost completely, still pretty decent. So here's the build that I think I prefer and I like the look of the most. It's 185 points, it's got Force Push instead of Jedi Mind Trick, but we also have Force Reflex. So that's got good ability synergy, so that Force Reflex is getting our deflect up, so that's pretty decent. We're so maneuverable that Force Push can help us control objectives, pretty damn good. We've got that one good turn basically, and you know, we can have a big impact in one good turn, and then unfortunately we're going to have to recover. that's just the way things go. You know, both those cards are exhaustible. Recover is going to be required. You're only going to get to use this probably like 3 times in the game. The game is 6 turns. You can only use it 3 times. It's not great, but I just think that it's, for me, I prefer the Force Push because, yeah, Jedi Mind Trick can stop a unit in its tracks, but Force Push just may have a little bit more versatility. I think for 2 of the 4 objective games, basically it's location based, so you can move people off objectives, pretty good. And for 1 of the 4 objectives, it's getting to the opponent's deployment area. Now, if you're on turn 6 and you use Luke Skywalker last, you could maybe move a unit out of that deployment area, stop them from scoring a point, maybe turn the tide of the game. Who knows? Pretty interesting. I feel like right now Force Push is more useful. They're not the panic immunity doesn't matter. As I said, they're still affected by suppression, but Jedi Mind Trick's not going to cause panic. So yeah, you still need to recover. Flanking, still just as bad as the first one. You know, you might want to put Comlink on it, or, you know, if you are taking Battle Meditation, you might want to put Comms Jammer and just ram it down the back of your opponents. But in this, you're not going to be able to do that. It's more expensive. It's 185 points. But for me, this is my favourite. Yeah, let me know what you think about that. So let's go back to the full screen. They're my builds. I think there's only 3 viable ones for now. I don't think I would take Targeting Scopes. I don't think I would take Expert Climber. Luke's abilities just don't lead itself to that. Other than that, I had to re-record this video because I messed up a little bit on the first one and I didn't want to leave it. So if you're wondering, like, deja vu, yeah, I messed up a little bit on the first one. We do have the full rules, so I'm very excitedly trying to consume as much of that as possible. There's nothing radical in that that changes anything that I've spoke about here or any of the previous videos, but you know, just so you know, it is out. And I'm going to end this video and go read some more. Well, after I have pizza because I'm hungry. If you like this video, do like, do subscribe, all that kind of jazz. Let me know if you've got any alternative build you think I missed talking about something, or you disagree with me, or you agree with me. Do let me know. Thank you very much for watching. Have a most beautiful, beautiful day, and goodbye. Bye, guys.